Okay, we talked about reading a circle graph and being able to tell what each slice represents. We kind of need to be able to go the other way to see data and then to be able to convert it into a circle graph. And the way that we do that is this. I have this example. Let's imagine for a second that it costs $1 million to produce a 1-hour TV special, and that the costs get broken down like this. And I'll zoom in to show you some of these costs. Let's imagine that it costs $600,000 to pay the people who act in it. Let's imagine that it costs $100,000 to pay the staff. Let's imagine that the writers get paid $50,000, that the sets cost $150,000, and that props and lighting cost $100,000, which adds up to $1 million. I want to be able to turn this into a circle graph. So here's how I do it. I'm going to convert the numbers into percents. So for example, if I think of cast salaries, that's $600,000 out of $1 million, which if I do my cross-canceling, or even I can just get rid of all these, and it becomes like 60 over 100, or times 100%, which is 60%. What I do then is I find the size of each angle using that percent. So I take that 60% and I need to find out what 60% of 360 degrees is. Now the reason I'm doing 360 degrees is that there are 360 degrees in a circle. So that's what I got to do. I got to do the decimal equivalent, 0.6 times 360, which equals 216 degrees. So what that means is that on a protractor, I need to be able to find out 216 degrees. And then using that number, I can start drawing out pie slices. Okay? And so what I have here is I have a circle graph already drawn. And I'm going to be, so it's got my title, TV network costs. I've drawn out the circle graph fairly neatly. I have my first line. This is where I started drawing the circle from. That's my first line starting. And I know that the cast salaries are going to be 216 degrees, which is going to be 60% of the pie. So here's how I'm going to do that. Use my protractor. I'm going to measure out a full 180, which brings me over here. And then I need to go another 20 to get to 200, and then another 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then 16. So I put a little dot. I added, well, you can look at it on in reverse. 216 minus 180 gives you 36. So basically, you need to add another 36 degrees onto the second side of the circle, because it's a reflex angle, right? So this whole part here, this is cast salaries. Okay, so I put a label in here, and I'm going to tell you that it's 60%. Okay? Now, what I need to do, and I'll just back it out a little bit again, I now need to calculate the rest of them. So if I have staff salaries, and I know that it's 100,000 out of $1 million, start canceling out zeros. So I have 10 out of 100, which is 10%. Okay? So that becomes 10% of 360 degrees, which is 0.1 times 360 degrees. So decimal 1 times 360 is 36. Okay? So from my last point, which is over here, get my protractor out, line it up, so that my base point right here is touching where the lines intersect, and then make sure that my line here is set at 0, and I count up 36. So 30, 31, 32, 33, 4, 5, and then 6, 36 degrees. And then I can join where that dot is with the center of my circle, and then this represents staff salaries. And it's 10%. Okay, writers. It's 50,000. I'm going to try and quicken it up. It's 50,000 out of $1 million times 100%, which is 5%. So that's 0.05 times 360, which is 18 degrees. Okay, so same deal. Do it this way. Sorry, that's a little bit upside down on your screen, but this is comfy for drawing. 18 degrees, it's right there. And connect the dot with the center of the graph. So this is writers. And it's 5%. Sets is 150,000 divided by million is 0.15. So it's 15%, which is 0.15 times 360 degrees, which gives me 54 degrees. So up from 0, here's 50. Nope. 51, 52, 3, and then 4. It's right there. Okay, so this is sets, music, etc. And it's 15%. Now if I've done this right, this last one should automatically be props and lighting. It should automatically be 10%, and it should automatically be about 36 degrees, which when I do my measurement, it actually is. So, in my graph here, I have it drawn out, circles drawn immediately, it's got a title, all the pie slices are labeled, and it's got the percentage amount. Okay? I'm a fan of doing the biggest pie slice on the right-hand side. I'm also a fan of going from biggest to smallest. You don't have to. It's not that big a deal. But that's how to draw a circle graph when you're given information. And so what you're going to be asked to do is do the same thing. Take information on a chart and convert it into a circle graph. So sometimes you'll be given the percentage and it'll be much easier because it'll just be, 0.25 times 360, which will tell you how big it needs to be. Sometimes they'll tell you a frequency and then you actually have to calculate the percentage before you can start doing the circle graph. But it's just one extra step. So, hope that's helpful. Have a great night.